Yo, what's up, good everybody? What's good, YouTube? Another Jimmy Highroller video. Let's get into it. Hope y'all having a good holidays. What's it called? The most delusional NBA fan in the world. I wonder who that is. Vince T-Mac. Wow.
The good old hot take. The necessary evil of the sports world. Through the good ones, the bad ones, and the downright.
All times window. Timberwolves receive Rudy Gobert. Oh my god. I don't really care about all of these, but first round, pick swap, first round. God damn. That means the Jazz is gonna be
atrocious ones. We once again find ourselves racking our brains, trying to figure out how some people come up with this nonsense. But today, I've done the brain racking for you and found some of the hottest NBA takes on the internet. So, buckle up. This may be a bumpy ride.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Today's sponsor is Rocket Money.
We don't get paid, you
Rocket Money
don't get
to get from our last batch, we've got some new scorchers to take a look at. You'd think I'd know better than to peer into the cold, soulless abyss of casual NBA fandom by now. But I'm sick. I can't help myself. And I've got nothing better to do. So here we are. Our first take is one that's been floating around lately, and as a LeBron stan, it's really got me revved up. And the take here is that
Wait, I didn't even read that shit. I just looked at it. LeBron is great. It's just so weird that he's the only all-time player with Shaq that has the most limited and weakest bag in terms of skill set. How? I mean, maybe.
Lately, and as a LeBron stan, it's really got me revved up. And the take here is that LeBron James has no bag. LeBron James, the 6'9" ambidextrous jack of all trades with over 37,000 points, has no bag. Of all the basketball takes I've had the displeasure of coming across, this might just be the worst I've ever laid eyes on. In basketball, the word bag can mean different things to different people. So does having a bag mean being able to get a bucket from anywhere on the court? Like this?
Throws up the floater.
Nah, that's
or
nasty.
This?
I seen that live. That was nasty.
Hey! Or this?
Oh my god, excuse me. Oh my
or
lord.
Maybe having a bag means having the skills to break down a defender at any moment. Like this.
Damn. Excuse me, gang.
Or this.
Gabe been getting cooked his whole career.
No, wait. I've got it. Maybe having a bag means a player can piece together moves and put together a combo that can get him a bucket at will. Like this right here.
Trying to defend LeBron.
Oh my god.
Or even this.
That spin dunk is...
I feel crazy for even needing to say this, but LeBron James has a bag. I think the problem here is that for some people, having a bag isn't about how many things you're capable of doing on the court, but rather how you look when you do it. For example, take a player like Jordan Poole or Jordan Clarkson or Damian Lillard. These are all players who everyone will agree have deep bags. But aside from a flashy handle and how they choose to get to their spots, there's not one thing these players can do that LeBron can't. Now sure, LeBron can't put together a combo like this, but getting into your bag can also look like this. I get it. LeBron has always relied heavily on his strength and athleticism. He plays stiff and robotic. It doesn't look pretty most of the time. Instead of shaking his defender and using pure skill to get a bucket, he'd rather put his head down and go through a defender, or just look down at the ball before hitting the grossest 30-footer you've ever seen in your life. But LeBron does, in fact, have a bag. You don't
The
just
closest
stumble
30-footer.
upon 37,000 points as a perimeter player without having a full arsenal of moves to deploy. He's got a post game. He's got his patented turnaround baseline jumper. He can take you off the dribble and finish with either hand. He can dribble straight into a pull-up. He can manipulate the pick and roll. He's got a filthy
He can do
layup package. He
everything.
can shred a double team. And considering he's a freight train of a human being, he's got a relatively tight
Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you play this long and as good as LeBron, you should be able to do everything. You should be able to do everything. No cap. You should be able to
handle.
do everything.
And why am I even saying this? He's one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, like-
Have we lost our minds of all the things a player can do on court? LeBron can do all of them besides having the ball on a string while putting on a dribbling clinic. But if that's how you define having a bag, then so be it. Doesn't change the fact that this is a bad take. Now, this next take isn't from one fan, but from
Hey.
multiple fans. And the more you look into
Oh my
it,
God.
the worse it gets. This fan asked the question, if you had to 1v1 against a NBA player to save your family, who would it be?
There's
Now listen
nobody.
up, guys. You never know if this is gonna happen. So the first thing you wanna do in this situation is visit your
You know, I ain't gonna lie. I know I'm gonna lose, but I'll pick Udonis Haslem. Put in the comment section down below which NBA player would you play. I'll play Udonis Haslem.
loved ones. Tell them how much they
That's
mean
the only
to you.
person I feel like I
and
don't
then
have a
say your
chance.
goodbyes. Because, brother, they're all goners. There
Yeah.
is no one in the entire NBA that 99.99% of us are going to beat one-on-one.
That's a
This
fact,
is a matter
though.
of fact. But
That's a
despite
fact, though.
this, the answers to this question would have you believing otherwise. Some people found some pretty clever loopholes to this conundrum, like this guy who picked Kawhi Leonard
said
because he
Kawhi?
wouldn't show up due to load management.
You're not gonna give him a load though.
And this is true. This guy picked Kyrie Irving, but he has to get vaccinated to participate. This
Nah, they got the jokes.
fan said
They got
Anthony
jokes.
Davis because he'd get injured 2 minutes into the game. But I hate to break it to you, Anthony Davis would still skunk all of us on a torn ACL. Now here's a fan with some sense. He says, no matter who I pick, there's absolutely no shot I'm winning. But if I had to choose a player where I have the best statistical chance
said
of
Udonis
winning,
Haslem.
I'm gonna have to go with LeBron.
Nigga said LeBron. What? Why
You know
not
what?
Udonis?
Stop.
I'm going
Let's
with
see some
Udonis
real
Haslem.
answers. Like this fan, who says he could beat Draymond Green one-on-one. And to that, I say, no. You're not beating a 6'7" 240-pound future Hall of Famer. The man scored 32 points and hit 6 threes in Game 7 of the finals. Draymond is going to take your lunch and watch as you wave your family goodbye.
You can
This
play.
guy says, give me Grant Williams. And apparently, he's going to lock him down. No, you're not.
You're not
Grant
locking nobody
Williams
down.
is 6'6", 240 with a strap.
They playing. They saying nice people. I'm saying the oldest person that don't get no buckets, Udonis Haslem.
He's scoring 15 straight
just
on you in
collecting
street
checks. He
clothes.
just collecting
Now, the most
checks now.
popular answer was pretty much any historically short player. Isaiah Thomas, Nate Robinson, Muggsy Bogues, JJ
And I pick somebody that's in the league right now, nigga.
Barea. And again,
In the
no.
league right
Do
now,
y'all
like-
realize just how quick and athletic these guys were in their primes? They're going around you, over you, screw it. They're going under you, and you're not stopping them. You're also not gonna post them up. These guys are
You're
built
not
like
beating
tree
Isaiah
trunks.
Thomas, bro.
They're dense. You're not moving them in the post.
You're the same
Try
height
it,
as
and
Isaiah
they'll strip
Thomas.
you before you even know what happened. Another answer that was really popular was, unironically, Ben
He's a
Simmons
defender.
because he can't shoot.
He could shoot. He could shoot. He could shoot. He just don't want
Guys, Ben Simmons is 6'10" with a 40-inch vert. He doesn't need to shoot. He's going through your chest and packing it every single time. Kendrick Perkins? Stop. He was 6'10", 270, and the last time we saw him play normal people was in high school, where he averaged 27, 16, and 8 a game. It's not happening. No, 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 not a shot. Nope.
to. Big Baby Davis. You remember Cash playing him? If Cash couldn't beat him, what makes you think you're not beating him? And that boy's
Nope.
strong.
Stop it. No. There's really only one correct answer to this question, and it's this one. Now, this next take comes from a fan who says we need to stop comparing Luka Doncic
Like, I'm surprised nobody picked Udonis Haslem.
to guys like Larry Bird and LeBron James, and that he's far more similar to James Harden. Now, this is a really good take, because as much as people were hesitant to make the comparison a couple seasons ago, Luka's game has become eerily similar to Harden the more time that passes. Their unorthodox ball handling that looks herky-jerky but catches defenders off guard every single time, the way they can dissect the defense from the inside out with their elite playmaking, the way they use their larger frames to pin defenders in weird positions and exploit mismatch opportunities, the way they lull the defense to sleep with 102 dribbles before initiating the offense, but have mastered when to attack and when to set up for teammates. Their change of speed and direction when they're getting to their spots makes them impossible to guard, since you literally have no idea what they're gonna do next. And of course, the completely unguardable step-back threes. Luka's game is strikingly similar to peak James Harden's. In fact, if we take a look at Luka's numbers, play style, and effectiveness over the last 4 seasons and compare them to
Didn't he say that like last video? He definitely said that last video.
James Harden from 2016 to 2019, you'll see that across the board, Luka has virtually become James Harden 2.0. From their usage, to their volume scoring, to how often they pass the ball and where they pass it, even down to the effectiveness of their play style. The only difference between peak Harden and current Luka is where they choose to operate. Harden scored most of his points either right at the rim, from the three-point line, or the free throw line, whereas Luka has a higher tendency to get right into the middle of the defense and operate from the mid-range. So if Luka is just the latest iteration of peak Harden, then why are we so infatuated with him and his playstyle just a few seasons after crucifying Harden for an extremely similar playstyle? Well, because of this.
Games.
In the playoffs, Luka's numbers
Mid-range be winning you playoff games. Like, they say this all the
go
time.
through the roof. But Harden's numbers and effectiveness take a dip in the playoffs. The fact that Harden relied so heavily on free throws and three-pointers to generate his points meant teams had an easier time slowing him down over the course of a 7-game series. If you can manage to mitigate his long ball and prevent falling for his foul baiting, you can drastically alter his impact on a game-to-game basis. But because Luka operates on all 3 levels, the post, mid-range, and outside, his game is a lot harder to predict and reduce. Luka also embraces the challenge of the postseason. I'll tell you what, that man does not shy away from a big moment. Despite Luka's insane usage, the fact that he gets even better in the playoffs is the main distinguishing factor that grants him love and admiration from the same fans that would scoff at James Harden's antics the moments he would fall apart in a playoff series. So if we're going to compare Luka to someone, I agree with this take.
But Luka don't fall off, that's the difference. If James Harden wasn't falling off, which he don't, to be honest.
Peak James Harden is the closest thing that we see in Luka today. This is a really good take. Now, our last take is gonna sound like a scorcher at first, but just stick with me here. This fan says that Michael Jordan is the only guard in NBA history he's taking over Steph Curry. And me personally, I agree. The only guard, both point guards and shooting guards, that I would take over Stephen Curry in some all-time draft would be Michael Jordan. Because really, there's only a few options that are even worth considering here. So let's take a look at who those options are. Amongst the greatest guards in NBA history, you've got Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Chris Paul, Steve Nash, Jerry West, James Harden, and of course, Steph Curry.
Now look at these. If you're not taking 1 or 2, which one would you take? I would take Magic Johnson, because he was nice, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think most fans would consider these players the greatest guards of all time. But as incredible as all these players are, it's pretty clear that there's 2 distinct tiers of players here. You've got MJ, Kobe, Magic, and Steph, and then everyone else. So right off the bat, we can narrow it down to these 3 options. We already established that MJ's getting picked first in any scenario. I mean, you could ask me who I'd pick to run center on my all-time team, and I'm still picking Mike, which narrows our options down to Kobe and Magic. Now, I have Kobe ahead of Steph all time, and I think he was a better all-around player. But in terms of just picking a player, I can get one guy. I need a player whose game can gel within any system, under any circumstance. As great as Kobe was, I think his game was more polarizing than Steph's is. His cutthroat mindset and larger-than-life
maybe you're right. But usually when they be setting up plays for Curry, they do a lot of screens for him. So all you gotta
made
do
him a
is shoot.
legend, but
Sometimes
it also
Curry
put
gotta
his
do
team
a ball
into some
handle.
tough spots on many occasions.
got Jordan
Steph
Poole
has
now.
never developed some of these bad tendencies, and it's made him one of the greatest teammates in NBA history. So that leaves us with Magic. Now I get that it's trendy to clown on Magic's skill set through the lens of 2022 and pick apart some of his deficiencies. It's really easy to say that a man didn't have a jump shot now that we've seen basketball evolve for the last 30 years. But Magic was
He would've
and
had that.
still is the point guard. There's a reason why the man won 5 championships in 13 seasons. And just like Kobe, I have Magic above Steph all time, and I still think he's the greatest point guard to ever touch a basketball. But I'm sorry, I'm still picking Steph. What Steph lacks in size and defense compared to Magic, he makes up tenfold in
As you
shooting,
got it.
and spacing, and versatility on offense. He makes everyone's job so much easier by just being on the court. And his shooting and shot creation is so absurd that he's virtually a walking cheat code. If a great guard is the match who lights an offensive fire, then Steph Curry is a blowtorch and a gallon of gasoline ready to scorch anything in its path. So yes, Michael Jordan is the only guard in NBA history I would take over Steph Curry.
I feel you.
And unfortunately, that's all the racking my brain can handle in one sitting. But before I let this go, if you had to 1v1 a NBA player to save your family, who would it
That's why I don't like go into arguments and shit. Like that should be so
be?
annoying.
Leave a comment below with your answer, and as you
I say Udonis Haslem. I say Udonis Haslem. I say Udonis Haslem. You know what I'm saying? Let's see.
usual, the hotter the take, the better. Or
Let's see.
worse.
Let's see.
Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
You can say Giannis. You can say Giannis. I got it. Damn, nobody's saying Udonis Haslem. That's crazy. That shit crazy, but hey.